If there's one thing that's important on any home build, it's structural stability. And when you build with shipping containers, people tend to think, well, the frame's already stable. But if you cut into the shipping containers at all, which you usually would for a house, then the structural integrity is gone. And last week, I finished taking down all the internal walls and installing half of my windows. And well, that's a lot of structural stability gone. So I need to replace it, which I've done with the window cutouts by installing steel angle frames into them and installing temporary acro props, which eventually will be beautiful timber posts from this property. But for now, 2 of my containers are opened up, so I need to get them all closed up, protected and waterproofed and a little bit more stable. So it's time to connect my 2 last containers internally. One side down, 1 to go, and crazy, that took so much less time than last time I did this, and that's because I was able to cut it so much closer to where I needed it this time in a nice straight line. When I was first starting off, my cutting skills with the grinder were shocking, and I had to end up grinding back so much of that wall to get to where I needed to be and make it all smooth. So experience saves you a lot of time, even if it's just a tiny bit of experience like doing it once before. Let's hope I haven't spoke too fast and this one's easy too. I cannot believe a couple weeks ago I missed working with steel. I've got this side and this side smooth. So what I'm doing here is just smoothing down the edges with my hybrid ceramic grinding disc so that I can weld a flat bar to it, just like I have done on that side over there. Next up is measuring from here to here. It's meant to be almost 3 meters basically because it's a high cube. I'll need to measure the steel flat bar up exactly to pop it on here. Let's measure again, and then let's cut. Also, you may have noticed I do have an egg on my head. It was worse when I first did it a couple of days ago. I've never had a bad injury from the build. In real life, when I'm not focused, when I'm just going about my casual daily life, I'm an extremely clumsy and non-spatially aware person. And so I got this egg on my head from literally opening a car door into myself, into my head, because I didn't think it was that close. This is why I will look you dead in the eye and swear that I could fit 1,000,000 things under the sun into this container house, and I will believe it with my full heart. In reality, it's probably not the case, but I believe it. I've got my 2 side pieces cut to the correct size. Hopefully, that's what I'm gonna check now. And then I'm gonna clamp them into the sides and weld them all on. I'll tack them first, obviously, and then it's continuous welding. So that means it's about 12 meters of continuous welding with these side pieces here. But the floor is way worse, that's 24 meters. So all up, how much is that? 36 meters of continuous welding this week to join these 2 internal containers. And I've already done that on the other side as well. And then also up the top. Now, of course, what you want is for it to fit the first go, but that has not yet happened with me. Really hoping 3rd time's the charm. And that's what you want, for it to fit the first go. Thank goodness. This means my measuring has got better. Okay, time to clamp her up. It is welding time for a very long time. I'll check in halfway at about the 6 meters of continuous welding point and meet you on the other side. Oh me, oh my. Forgot how long continuous welding for that many meters takes. That was hours and hours. I have about half an hour of light left and then I'll see how I go, but when it gets dark I struggle to see, like my lights aren't fantastic and I don't want the welds to be like piss poor, so I would rather just do them in the morning. Wow, it is a miserable day today. Literally all night it was like crash, bang, slap. You know that thunder that like literally feels like it's almost shaking the ground with the cracks that it has? Insane. I need to get back onto the welding and get that side finished up so that I can move onto the floor. I've finally finished the welding on the sides. What I've got left to do is take the clamps off and brush it and spray it, but I'll do that at the end of the day because now I have to move on to the job of doing the floors. I'm gonna come over here because that light is too bright. Look how cold it is. Okay, so now I have to do the floors, which is not fun. It's harder than the walls. Because one, it's a lot longer, and two, I have to make my own flat bar. So first step, just like the sides, I need to flatten down all the floors, and then I'll cut me some flat bar, but I feel like this flattening is going to take a very long time. This job is not my favorite. It's kind of a job like the windows, you know, like long, tedious, horrible. So kind of bad news, I don't have any hybrid ceramic grinding discs left, which means I can't keep grinding. I'm about 2/3 through, which is pretty far. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on to cutting out my flat bar from the wall panels. So all the container wall panels that are cut out there. I'll cut out some flat bar for the ground to weld it in place and connect the two internally on the ground. But obviously I will only be able to weld up until the 2/3 mark, and tomorrow morning I'll have to go and get some grinding discs. The floor's gonna take me so long. Oh my gosh, it's 24 meters of continuous welding. 24 meters. So I better get onto it. I'm gonna grab me out a wall panel. I need 12.3 around about for the containers. They're around about 12.2. Yeah, around about 12.2 meters for the container floors. I will get to tack welding it all on. But first, the rain has finally stopped, and it has not stopped today. So the dogs have been inside. So I'm gonna go grab them so they can have a little run around, because the poor things have just been in the dark all day like I have, and we all like sunshine. These little baby grass trees. So they take, I think it's like 30 years to even get their trunk out of the ground. Okay, so I've had a nice little break and a nice little walk with the dogs, which I definitely needed, and it started raining again. But the plan of attack is I'm moving onto the floors. I'm using these container wall panels. So you can see it's kind of like corrugated, and I'll use a section there kind of already marked out for me, and I will cut that to be my flat bar, just like I have done here. That is container wall flat bar. Can you hear that rain? My golly. Don't know how you'd ever use these for a roof or anything, because wow, you would need a pretty strong roof to hold a few of these sheets. This is not a fun job. Ew. It could be straighter, but straight doesn't really matter. First one. 4 more to go. 4 more. Oh my god, that was agony. So I've got my first piece down here. I'll tack and weld this into place now.
I was only lonely when you came.
Well, hello. It has been quite the eventful morning. I had to spend half of it going to go get new discs, and then I just spent the rest of it welding in this long piece of flat bar that I made from the container walls. And wow, I forgot how horrible this job is. It's way worse than the sides because yes, the flat bar is free and it works well for the floors, but it's also got all the paint and rust or whatever it's got all over the containers. And so you have to grind it as well first, otherwise it just splatters everywhere. What I'm gonna do now is, now that I've got my disc, I am going to start grinding down the rest of that floor. Have fun. And then I'll cut some more bits of flat bar from the container, which I can tell you, that is quite the job too. You should see my face when I'm cutting that container wall on the ground. I'm just like, okay, this is a horrible job. So I am just going to put my head down and get through it, earphones in, listen to something good because finally, I am done grinding down the floor. Wow, what a job. Definitely not one of my favorites, but I have to say these discs right here make life 10 times better. Hybrid ceramic grinding disc, 36 grit. They chew through that metal. Unfortunately, this does mean that I have to move on to cutting the flat bar, which is my least favorite job because of all the spark. I got 2 more bits of flat bar, doo-dah, doo-dah. And look, 2 forms of eye protection. Did a little bit better. I was still scrunching my face the entire time so I didn't get in my eyes, but felt a little bit safer. All right, I need to get this in place, which means I need to move the acro prop now, or acro props. Where am I gonna put you for a second? She's all tacked in place, so I'm gonna get these acro props back in place so I can breathe. And that's a wrap. I've officially finished joining my 3 containers that are downstairs together. So they are completely sealed up. And the only one that's left to join is my rooftop one, which will be joined a little bit differently. I'm just so excited to get done with the welding and the grinding in here so that I can actually put these windows into their steel frames and get it looking like an actual house. I will see you next Sunday. Bye.